Good morning, dear girls. Now let us see the next chapter, that is function overloading. This is one of the important concept of OOPS programming. In this chapter there are three topics, that is function overloading, inline function and friend function. All three topics are very important and one 5 marks question will be expected from this chapter. Okay. So now let us see what is function overloading. Function overloading means two or more functions can have same name but differ in the number of arguments or differ in the types of arguments. See once again, function overloading means two or more functions can have same name but differ in the number of arguments or differ in the types of arguments. So example here both the functions named as area. But this first function is used to find the area of square. That is why a into a. And here only one argument. For finding the area of the square, we need only one side. Correct? And for finding the area of rectangle, we have to calculate length into breadth. That is why here two arguments. So here function overloading concepts means the functions can have same name. See here, more than one or more than two functions can have same name, but number of arguments or type of arguments should be different. So here in this case you see here only one argument is here. Here two arguments are there. That is the difference between these two functions. Okay. Now let us see the syntax of overloaded functions. So here you see inside the class only we are defining the overloaded functions. That is what we are defining the class and class name, open flower bracket, private. Here we can declare the data members, and under the public declaration here we are defining the member functions. Okay, inside the class only we are defining the overloaded functions. So the first function is see the syntax: return type, function name, arguments with the data type or arguments with the declaration. Same only that is. Okay, open flower bracket, statements, and close the flower bracket. Same way one more function we are defining: return type, function name, arguments with the data type, open flower bracket, statements, close the flower bracket, and close the class with the semicolon. So here you see this is one overloaded function, it is another overloaded function. Both the functions can have same name. That is the specialty of overloaded functions or the concept function overloading. Okay. Let us see the next important topic, that is need or advantages of function overloading. It's important for 5 marks. Okay. First point, eliminating the use of different function names for the same kind of operation. That is, we here in this function overloading concept, we are not using different function names. We are using all same function names for all same kind of operations. Next, using the concepts function overloading, program or code is executed fast. So here almost all the functions, all the member functions we are writing inside the class, and that is why small functions only we can write inside the class. That is why the program or code will be executed fast and it reduces the program code length. With the same reason, all small functions only can be defined inside the class. That is why it reduces the program code length. It performs same task with the different arguments. So function overloading means it performs same task but with different arguments. We have seen in the example area of rectangle and area of square. Both function is same but it performs with different arguments. Next, it is easy to understand and debug the programs. So all the functions we are writing inside the class, that's why the functions will be small, so it will be easy to understand and debug the program. And code maintenance is easy. All the functions will be named with the same, but only the difference is there, the arguments will be different or the type of the arguments will be different. So that reason maintaining the code will be easy. We can find out easily like what is the mistake in the program and we can do it. Next is restrictions or conditions on function overloading. So when you are writing a function overloading, what are the restrictions or what all things should be taken care? Each function in a set of overloaded functions must have different argument list. That is, function name can be same but argument list should be different. Each function in a set of overloaded functions must have same function name. That means all the overloaded functions should have the same name. These are the two restrictions on the function overloading programs. Okay, now let us see the practical program and its example for function overloading program. The program is write a program to find the area of square and area of rectangle and area of triangle using function overloading. So before starting the program, you see area of square formula is A into A. Area of rectangle formula is L into B, that is length into breadth. Area of triangle, this is when all the three sides are equal. For area of triangle, you have learned like this one formula. Square root of S into S minus A into S minus B into S minus C. So based on this formula only, we are going to find out area of triangle. So when you are finding area of triangle, we have to find this S value. S is a semi-perimeter. So that is like we are dividing all these three sides, we are adding and dividing by 2. That is a semi-perimeter value. So we have to calculate S before calculating this formula. Okay. So these are the formulas for finding the area of square or area of the rectangle or area of triangle. Now let us see the program. We are including all the header files like iostream.h, conio.h and math.h. So why this math.h is used in the program? Here we are using the which mathematical function we are using here. We are using the mathematical function square root. That is reason we are using the math.h header file. Okay. Then iomanip.h, that is for the ZW and NDL. So these are the header files. Now we are starting the class definition. So when you are defining the class, see here I said you all the function overloading, that overloaded functions will be defined inside the class. Okay, so we are starting the class with the name function overload, fun overload, open flower bracket, and the private declaration we are declaring this float s. So this s is the semi-perimeter value. So that variable we should declare in the private declaration. Now let us see the member functions. All these three member functions are declared inside the class. Okay, that is why we are declaring with the public declaration, that is float area in the bracket float a. So see this same function, that is member function, inside the class we have studied the syntax. See the syntax here: return type, function name, arguments with the declaration, open flower bracket, function body, close the flower bracket. This was the syntax for the member function inside the class, right? Same syntax we are converting to the program here. Return type is float and the function name is area. Arguments with declaration, that is argument name is a, the data type is float, and open flower bracket. In the function body we are writing here return a into a. That is for finding the area of the square. The formula is a into a. That value that answer will be returning here. Okay, so the next member function is float area of float L comma float B. Here two arguments are there. Why means we are calculating the area of the rectangle. So the formula is length into breadth. That is why here two arguments are there. Other than the same thing, same function syntax we are following here. See, return type is float, area is a function name, arguments with the declaration, and the function body is return L into B. Again, the third function, same name, float area, and float a comma float b comma float c. So all these three variables are used inside the argument list, that is for finding the area of the triangle. Okay, again same like a syntax is same, return type and function name, arguments with the declaration. Now open flower bracket, first we are calculating semi-perimeter, that is s equal to a plus b plus c divided by 2.0, either 2 or 2.0 you can give here. Then return square root of s into, instead of that symbol here we are writing square root. For this only we are using the math.h header file. Okay, so square root of s into s minus a into s minus b into s minus c, closes bracket, and this bracket here we are closing, that is the second bracket, and this first bracket return this bracket, that is the third bracket here, and close the semicolon. Now close this class, this flower bracket you can write here. Okay, that is, this is for the member function, and this is the flower bracket with the semicolon. This is, we are closing the class. Okay, now let us see how this member function will be executed. So for that we need the main program. Inside the void main we are declaring, see, all this actual arguments should be declared, and with the help of this actual arguments only we are passing the value from the main program to subprogram. Okay, so this, see, remember last year we are used that GCD and power of that program x power y. There all what we did, from the main program we passed the arguments to the subprogram. Same way here also, this x comma y comma z, these three are the actual arguments that we declared with the data type float, and f is the object we declared with the class name function overload, and int n, this n is for, like see, we have three types of member functions are there, like finding the area of rectangle, finding the area of square, and finding the area of triangle. So which one we have to execute? For that choice only this variable n is given. And clear screen, then enter the number of inputs. See here 1 2 3. So which input, whichever the input we are giving, depends on that particular function will be executed. So if you give 1, area of square will be executed. If you give 2, area of rectangle will be executed, like that. Okay, now see C in n, and we are giving the n value as 1. If n is equal to 1, open flower bracket, C out, enter the side. See, if n is equal to 1, we are going to execute area of square. For area of square means we have to pass only one actual argument, that is only one side. So enter the side 4.5. We are giving C in x. Using this input statement, we are giving the x value as 4.5. This x value only I am telling it is an actual argument. This actual argument from here it will be transferring to this function, and this is this function, this a is known as formal argument. This will receive that value, and here this will be calculated and return a into a. That means this value will be returned to which function? It will be returned to the place where that function is called. So here the function is called, right? So using this object f dot area, that is a function name of, we are passing the actual argument s. From here we call the function, to that place that answer will be calculated and returned. Okay, so here see area of square equal to this place, that answer will be displayed. We will get the answer like this for area of square. Again enter and close the flower bracket. So if this n is equal to 1 only, this area of square will be calculated. Now other ways, for that we are using else if. Okay, we are using here if else if condition. So else if n is equal to 2, that means if you are executing area of the rectangle, then enter two sides. That means we have to give the value for x and y. Two actual arguments we are using here, and see area of rectangle equal to f dot area of x comma y. That means two actual arguments we are passing from here to the member function. That is, where is the member function? This is the member function. So this L and B will receive that x and y, the actual arguments value, and that will be calculated here and return L into B. That means this value will be returned to the place where we call that function. Okay, that is f dot area of x comma y. To this place that answer will be returned, and we will get the answer like this. See here, enter the number of inputs. If you are giving the input as 2, enter two sides, we have to input x and y value, that is two values we should give, and area of rectangle will be calculated. Girls, I don't know how you will be able to understand. Please try to concentrate and see the program in the book and see this explanation. Okay, then again else if n equal to 3, that is, if you are giving the choice as 3, then we are going to enter three sides. Then we should enter C in x, y and z. These three actual arguments we should enter. So it will calculate like C out area of triangle equal to f dot area of x comma y comma z. That is, we are calling the member function area with the help of object f with the dot operator, f dot area. That means we are calling the member function area with three sides. That means with three actual arguments. That means when you are calling with three actual arguments, this which function will be executed? This area of triangle will be executed. Okay, so that x, y and z, these three actual arguments will be transferring here, and a, b, c, this will receive, this formal arguments will receive that values, and this calculations will be done. Then the answer will be again returned to the place where we call the function. So where we called, here we call the function f dot area of x comma y comma z. Okay, then that answer will be printed there. See the input here, enter the number of inputs 3. That means you are going to execute area of triangle. Enter the sides 2, 3.5, 2.75. That means three input values we are giving, and it will calculate area of not square, area of it is triangle. Okay, area of triangle will be calculated. Area of triangle will be calculated, and see one more condition, last one, else. That means if you are not selecting all this 1, 2, 3, these three numbers, if you are selecting any other number, then the output will be Cout invalid. That means see here, enter the number of inputs. If you are selecting 4 or any other number, we will get the output as invalid input. Understood? I know it's little tough to understand. Please revise and see. Okay.